podcast joint with Ciara.
Yo, what the deal? This is the T-Money podcast joint featuring Ciara Ross.
Hey.
And you are listening to the great T-Money in the building. What is the dilly, yo? What's the deal? What's happening? What's the deal?
Happy
Banana
to be
peel.
here today.
Everything's good? Yo,
Love
we got, let me tell you something. What we have here is a reason to watch this show. My man the Sensei from the Artifacts is in the building.
Welcome.
Much
What up,
love
what
to
up,
you,
what
good
up?
buddy.
What up, yo?
What's happening with you?
I'm all right.
No doubt, brother. Salute and massive respect to the rapper Tame One and DJ Chaos. Rest in peace to them.
No doubt.
Artifacts was always official, man. And you'll probably never find, well, you may be, but you probably be hard pressed to find a group of guys who embodied the 5 elements of hip hop. You know, rapping, DJing, graffiti art. Because you can always get these commercialized artists, man, that are out here, man. I mean, there's tons of them, you know. And right now, to be quite honest with you, everybody sounds so prenatal. There's no bars really don't exist. Everybody's, you know, and I don't want to. And real talk, look, you guys can hear me really clear, right? I don't want to sit here and badger new school artists. I'm not here for that energy, you know. But all I'm saying is that there's something to be said about creativity. There's something to be said about being a writer. There's something to be said about, you know, metaphor and, you know, being able to put these things together in song form.
And I can't wait to dissect this conversation.
So Elder Sensei is a master of that, man. And thank you, brother, man. My man, the Brick City's own Elder Sensei of the legendary Artifacts in the building.
And for those that do not know Brick City, that is New Jersey.
That's at Newark, New Jersey, where the bricks were made and where the bricks stay. You know what I mean?
And to elaborate on that, anybody that can't say Newark, just say N-O-R-K, Newark. That's how we say it. Really easy.
Yeah, so El, what's up, man? So talk to me, man, a little bit, man. I want to get this out the way first, you know, for those who've actually been sleeping under a rock since 2019. Right. The Artifacts were comprised of yourself, Elder Sensei, rapper Tame One, and DJ Chaos.
Yes,
and you know, in 2019, DJ Chaos passed away, and in 2022, which was last year, Tame passed away. Talk to me a little about the circumstances, that especially surrounding Tame, and you know, because a lot of us were surprised. I was totally shocked that he passed.
Yeah, I mean, same with me. You know, just to get a phone call like that, you really don't expect it. I'm in my house cooking lunch. I get a phone call, and even though I heard what she said, his mom called me.
Oh, his mom called.
Yeah, and when twice I heard her say it, and it just didn't register, and I just kept asking her what she was talking about. So once she hung up, and I sat down, and it really sunk in. I was like, okay, well, of course I don't know the details or anything like that, and you know, he had a heart failure, Chaos passed a kidney failure, and just like a lot of the heroes we've seen pass over the couple of years, you know, we have to understand that we getting up there in age, and we can't do the things that we used to do when we was younger.
Right.
You know, and that's with a lot of the drinking, a lot of the smoking. You know, when you get in a certain stage of your life, is 2 things you can do: keep going down that path, or
change.
Get some exercise in, get some kind of regimen to where you motivate your body to keep it moving. Because doing what we do, we going on stage, we doing these shows, we on stage for like an hour, a little bit more.
Right.
I stay in the gym as much as I can.
Right. It takes a toll on your body.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So like when you're talking about doing all these things, exactly, and it's the whole pressure of trying to be in the industry and keep going. It was a livelihood for all 3 of us, and I can actually say they died doing it and loved doing what they were doing. So you know, that's the one thing I can take from a lot of this. Even though with it happening, I have memories of them where I know that, you know, we matter to a lot of people, a lot of fans. You know, as you said, you know, we stuck to our guns. We were a group that knew what we stood for, and we didn't really compromise for the industry. And you know, we actually made a whole new album for 2023. Actually released in 2022. I'm sorry. It's called No Expiration Date. Buck Wild DITC did all the music, did all the beats.
Well, sir, let's run this back a little bit because you have new fans coming in to learn about you. So just a little bit. let your fans know just a little bit about the Artifacts and how you guys started. Just a little bit.
No doubt, you're real. So we started in we got together in 88. Professionally, we made our first record with this group called the Nubian Crackers and a song called Do You Want to Hear It? That released in 93. We got our deal for anybody that's, knowledgeable in the radio. Stretch Armstrong and Barbito.
That's right.
We went on their radio show, 89 Tech 9, Columbia University. Tame won a contest on the phone. They had a freestyle battle on the phone. And
on the phone?
On the phone.
Oh, that's
he beat the guy.
Salute to the phone.
Right.
Salute to the phone.
And this is when it wasn't we called straight calling in, and he asked, the prize was him to come up to the station and freestyle up there.
Right.
He told me about it, and I said, all right, well, that week I called up. I beat the guy I was with, and he was like, well, it don't matter because when I won the first time, I got the invite. Okay, well, we went up there together, not knowing that we was going up there to set ourselves up for a deal. Just so happened, Barbito worked at Def Jam. Stretch worked at Atlantic. That night, we rocked for like 15 minutes off of Zulu War Chant.
Oh, wow. That's dope.
And straight up for like 15 minutes, just rocked. They looking at us, and they like, after it was done, like, where y'all from? First thing we said, like, Jersey. They're like, no. Y'all know, y'all can't be from Jersey rhyming like that. No, you can't. But this is when everybody found out that Jersey was more than just the marshes and stealing cars. And when you come out of the Lincoln Tunnel, the smell right there, Meadowlands, that's what we started with, and we became amongst a tradition of Jersey artists.
So all three of you guys are from Jersey.
Yeah, yeah. And Chaos, wasn't with us in the beginning. Our first DJ actually, so anybody that listens to any Artifacts, the first album, DJ Rock Raider, rest in peace.
Oh, no question.
He did all the cuts on the first album for us. He was our first road DJ, and once he started doing the DMC contest, he's like, yo, I'm going to go win this battle. We was like, oh, wow, we about to lose a DJ like him.
Right.
He's like the best, he was the best DJ ever we ever seen. So we had to replace him with somebody, and he actually made Chaos audition.
What?
Mr. Sinister and Raider came to Jersey. We had a spot called The Pipeline where we used to go every Wednesday, have a show, free open mic. So he came because we had a party for the release of the second album, so called That's Them. And I told Chaos, like, Raider is coming here. They performing this night too, the DJ. But he said, yo, he want to meet you because he said he want to see the dude that's gonna replace him.
Oh no!
Oh wow!
But what Raider didn't know was Chaos was a student of him from afar.
Right.
Where he's like studied everything of him and knew how to do his routines and everything. So they came to the spot. We went in the van. We started lighting up, and for like an hour, Raider sat there, listened to the album, and he got to a couple of songs, and maybe one song called "This Is the Way." When the song was over, he just was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm convinced. You good. I ain't saying you wouldn't have been in it, but I'm just saying, like, I can turn over the turntables to him." I was like, all right, cool.
Oh, so he just gave it up at that point.
And then when we, because we asked Chaos in maybe 96, and before we started doing the album, he was like, what you doing? I know he's a local DJ, club DJ and everything. I said, what you doing? Nothing. Where y'all at? We in Texas. What are you doing? Who you DJing for? Nobody. You sure? Yeah. So, all right, you want to be in the group? He's like, be in the group? I said, be in the group. Chaos, you're going to have pictures taken. You're going to be on the cover.
Right.
And the inside, you're going to be official DJ. So we were like a Jersey Run DMC, a Jersey EPMD, and he completed the package of not even a long search of DJs, but we actually saw that he can, do the same thing Raider did. But because we knew him, I let him hear all the songs in the first album before they even came out. So he was like my friend. I would be at work. I'm working at the hospital still, and we were doing this record.
Okay.
I'm calling him at my job. Like, yeah, I'm like, look.
Working at the best?
No, I was working at St. Michael's.
Okay.
St. Michael's Hospital.
Okay.
The best. I was born there. So,
okay, that's what's up.
That's official.
Tame worked at the best.
I think we was all born there.
Okay.
I think we all was.
So Tame was a graffiti artist, and how did that translate to him becoming an MC? Actually,
Now that's the thing for me. because I only knew him as a graffiti artist.
Right, he was
like,
official,
I just always saw his name everywhere. I'm like, who is this dude? Right. And my man Jay Byrne, he told me about a crew that he was in called the Boss Mob. Okay. My man Rick Rhino CMZ was the producer of all of these cats that was in the crew. Right. He said, "El, go down there. Rhino gonna help you do some beats. Gonna do your demo. He gonna do all the stuff for you." And I get in his room and I see the walls and it's like, okay, graffiti everywhere. I said, okay, I see Tame. Damn. He be here? Wow. He said, yeah. He said, he rhymed? He said, yeah. He's like, yo, and he played me a couple of songs. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, damn, this dude
nice,
rhymed just as nice as his handwriting and his tags. So one day, I went over there a couple of times. One day he came. And at the time, I didn't smoke. I drank. Right. Back then, we drinking 40s. And we just vibing. And I got to see that he was kind of similar to me. I did artwork. I wasn't as good as he was on the graffiti.
Jersey, we got our own little swag. So yeah, it's a difference.
Man. And then being from Jersey is not always the norm that you would have cats like him. His graffiti looked like New York.
Yep.
To me and a lot of other people. So he was a little bit more advanced when it came to a lot of stuff that he was doing because he was getting taught by the real cats. So he came there. I said, so that second time I met him at the house, we actually did a song.
Oh, okay.
And the song came out crazy. I was like, okay. One thing with me and Tame, we were opposites attract. We was everything like that came with that. We were the Felix Unger, Oscar Madison, Yin and Yang.
Wow.
That's cool.
Everything was us. But when we musically got together, it
clicked.
It just went together. It was meshed.
Right.
So for him, I guess for him, being in the crew, I'm new.
Right.
So he felt like, okay, you're neutral from the crew, but I hear myself with you.
Right.
And then that's when we just kept making songs from there.
Well, you previously mentioned, other Jersey artists that was coming up in that particular area. And I believe one of you guys are related to Redman.
Yep.
Do you ever feel as though that at a time that you were in secret competition or felt that you had to be in competition with Lord of the Undergrounds and the other artists that was coming up?
Not necessarily, because what's funny about that, we all came out one after another. So you had Naughty came out, Redman came out. Actually, Kim Shabazz was before everybody.
Yeah, on Wild Pitch.
Exactly. You got Apache, Latif, a lot of these kids. Exactly. See now, and all of these people in the beginning was before us, and that's what what we learned from. So it was never a competition thing, because it was for us. We were like, okay, we the last ones to get a deal. What you got to understand is the most rappers that everybody see from New Jersey, we're all from kind of the same area.
Yep.
So you talk about West District of Newark. This is where Redman comes from. Do It All comes from. Even with Latifah being in East Orange, where I live at now, it's still not 5-10 minutes you in Newark. 5-10 minutes you over here. So it's all like one really big ball of everything.
Right.
And we all know each other. We all done the same circuit. We all did the same things. So it's just really what it was us like, y'all next.
Right.
We see all of these Naughty, Red, Lords. And even when we came after, even Poor Righteous Teachers, Kingston.
They're from Trenton, aren't they?
Yes, indeed. Yep. Yeah. But see, with Poor Righteous Teachers, they were outside of the whole mainstream, right. But they was banging out.
Yeah, they was.
So
they made their own
a lot of people.
Yes,
a lot of people. Because Trenton is not the immediate. I always tell people, coming from Penn Station, coming from Newark Airport, when all of us are that. So Red, us, we all. When you leave from Newark Airport, you can get to us.
Right.
Newark Airport, you going to Trenton. That's a damn hike. That's a hike when you go out there. So. Patterson also was a big part of the Jersey scene. So with us coming, we were the more elemental official, closer to New York than a lot of cats from home. And because we was on Stretch and Bobito, because the New York DJs played our records so much and accepted us, because we were real underground dudes.
I was gonna say that. I think,
you know what I'm saying?
I think that's the reason why, because you guys were accepted as being underground as I mean your predecessors, a lot of them they actually had big deals and they were never considered that, so they had to work hard to get that respect. You guys had it from the door.
And where we started from a grassroots of say NYU radio. Right. You know, Wild Man Steve, and then we went to all of these shows, different shows, where we were put on display to show our skill lyrically, because that's how people felt about us, where it was like, yo, we consider y'all these cats, spit.
Right.
Wherever y'all go, spit. Even when we went to Cali, the label asked us, what y'all want to do first? Go to promo tour on the East Coast, or you want to go to the West Coast? We from here. Why are we going to stay here?
Right.
Let's go to the West Coast. Plus, I never been there.
Right.
That's my first time on the plane. Everything, man. When we got out there, all I thought about was colors. I thought about movies. Boys in the Hood. I'm like, yo, I can't bring no red, no blue. I'm in polo, dude. I'm like, they're going to kill me out there. We got there, and it was just the whole opposite. It was the whole opposite. Like, the first rapper dude I met out there hanging out was Tash from the Alcoholics.
Oh, yeah, no question.
And I'm a big fan of them, so my man's like, yo, you want to go over and see the licks? I'm like, who? Like, what, for who? Tash? Like, yeah, we go over there. And I'm trying to be so cool. My man come back, he drop off a whole bunch of buzz. He's like, yo, you got to chill for a minute. And me and him sat there for 2 hours at his friend's house, just kicking it.
I see that.
So, you know, once I saw all the rappers was like him, and we went to every college radio show you could think of, and you went every Santa school, Santa Clara, Santa Ana, Santa this, it was all Santas. We did all those schools, Cal State, we did, every school, every radio show, and it was like, for them, it was just like, okay, let me see if these cats are real. Right. And we was nervous because we know what's out there, you know, as far as the scene.
Right.
You know, and Razzcast went on tour with us. This was his first tour. He was in a group called Western Hemisphere, but he was, and to this day, he was on the last album. Razzcast is on a song with us on this album. And I told him I wanted him on it because it made sense, because you started your career with us on the promo tour.
Right.
Look at him now.
Right, official.
You know, so it's
let me take it back a little bit. The name, The Artifacts. Who came up with the name? Was it symbolized to you? Was it something that you all collectively came up with?
Well, it's funny how that happened. Okay, so it's tatted on my arm.
Yeah, of course I see.
So
along with another tat that
we'll
get into in a minute.
My name right there, and I'll tell you about that one later. Okay. We went to, when we finally got our opportunity to get the deal and actually have a meeting. Right. We went to the label, and at the time, our name was called That's Them.
That's Them.
Okay.
And the only reason why we had that name was because that name stuck because we used to audition for a lot of the talent shows. And there was one talent show in East Orange, New Jersey, at a club called Club 88. And it was
Club 88.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It was called Tough Teen Talent Night. This only happened on the holidays, and so we all in school. Tough Teen Talent Night was every holiday: Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, you name it. Halloween, they had shows. And at one time when I was by myself, every time I went in that contest, I was always running up to Naughty.
Oh, okay.
I would always get beat. And they would like, try again next time, brother. So then me and Tame got together, and they stopped doing the shows.
Oh, okay.
But they became New Style.
Oh,
and they started making
right.
records.
Right.
Man, we had a chance this time. It was like how when Jordan retired and you and them had a chance and they blew it.
Exactly.
So we went out there and we just made a name for ourselves in the hood. And my man Tony, rest in peace, he was a cop, and he used to put these shows on. So he said, L, I want y'all to come because, you know, it's auditions. Yeah, I got an audition for the first one. So we came down there, a bunch of dudes in there. And people knew me, but they didn't know Tame. So we rocked, did one song. They were about like, damn, okay, cool. And we would win all the contests after that. But what happened was whenever we came to the auditions, Tony knew we was already going to be in it. So people would see us like, oh, that's them dudes right there. That's them right there. So with that kind of stuff.
Right.
We go to the meeting. No, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Right. Y'all gonna have to think of something else. You know, we like you guys, but you gotta come with another name.
I agree.
Right. So going back home to Jersey, we on the PATH train. I'm looking at him. He looking at me. I'm like, what the hell we gonna do? I mean, I'm bugging. We even got the opportunity, but what we gonna do?
Right.
So we just almost get back to Jersey. I'm looking at him. We going to Harrison. We almost there. I looked at him. I was like, yo, Artifacts. He was like, I said, but wait. Just don't say nothing. We got to his crib. So it wasn't no Google.
Yep.
It wasn't nothing like that. We in the encyclopedia. We knew what it meant, but we went in the encyclopedia. We in the dictionary. We like, okay, anything from modern times being brought to new times, ancient times brought to new times. Study, da-da-da. Nick, we still do graffiti. We still B-boys.
Right.
We still, all of these. When we came, no one was talking about the 4 elements of hip-hop at all. When we dropped Wrong Side of the Tracks, KRS-One reviewed the single on Hot 97. He said, it's crazy that it took some dudes from New Jersey to make a song about graffiti that started in the Bronx, in New York, and no one ever thought to make a song about that.
Right.
So it registered to him so much where he came with his next album, and he got a song called Alpha Fame, and it's all about graffiti.
Right.
Big respect to Artifacts. Thank you. And then he come with another song, MCs act like they don't know.
Right.
And he's like, I wrote out like Artifacts on the Wrong Side of the Tracks, Electrify. I'm like, wow.
That's
We like, wow. Everybody in the hood, yo, y'all know him?
That's real. That's real.
Like, nah, we do not know him.
But that's real. That's a testament to what you guys do, man.
Right.
You guys stay facts. You staying true to yourself. You know, to piggyback off of what Ciara was saying, and the fact that you're talking about what makes hip hop what it is, man. I mean, it's sort of like the core of what makes hip hop what it is. The 5 elements.
The things we learned from all the cats that made it what it is. You know, and pretty much everything we learned from that, we applied it to the record. And when we was making these songs, and when I gotta let this out.
Okay.
Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian is the reason why that Wrong Side of the Track song exists.
Oh, really?
Anybody that go on your phone right now, you can look up in YouTube and you'll see the demo version. But we have a vinyl, but it's sold out. But there's a demo version that Lord Jamar from Brand Nubian did. We couldn't clear the sample to put it on the album. So the way y'all hear Wrong Side of the Tracks today is the second version of what we originally did.
That's the second
So
version.
me singing the hook, originally, Lord Jamar he wrote the hook for that.
Okay.
We couldn't get him to do the track, you know, because they was on tour, and we couldn't get him, you know, he didn't have time. So we did the beat with T-Ray as far as the one y'all know today.
Right.
But you can go on YouTube, press up, put in Lord Artifacts, Wrong Side of the Tracks demo version. You're gonna hear a whole nother beat. You're gonna hear Lord Jamar singing the hook and everything. We sound like babies when you hear it. It's the same words, but we sound so small.
Right.
But like, you know, even the reason why that song exists because Jamar has said what you said. Jamar asked us, okay, we just used to hang out with them. We met them at the State Building in Harlem MTV show.
Yeah.
And when we got up to the building, Money Love was rocking with Lord Finesse doing the freestyle off of You a Customer.
Right.
And they came up and nobody in the crowd knew who they was. We singing all the words, Drop the Bomb, Wake Up. We singing everything. Feel So Good. And they heard us, but they didn't know we was at the back screaming almost at the sidewalk. So when they came off stage, we see them walking around. I said, Tame, I don't care. I'm going over to them right now. We don't live here, so let's go. I had my Walkman on, and I walked right up to Jamal like, yo, I love y'all. I don't care.
People don't know what a Walkman is.
A Walkman, it was like tape cassette you carried in your pocket, and you had like, you know, rewind, play, and stop.
Right.
And I have the demo tape, me and Tame demo tape in the Walkman. So I just walked up to him, and I was not scared. I said, yo, we like y'all, da-da-da-da. My name is L, da-da, this Tame. And my man Ice was with me, my man Cool was with me, and they just like, oh, you crazy for doing this. But Jamar talked to me.
Of course.
He actually, but because I found out later in life that moment was the first fan experience for him and Sadat.
Oh, really?
Without Pooba being there. So me coming, and then for us to work with them and they mentor us. And then later on down the line, let's save some info for later, but for us to be who we became was because of them. And because and he gave me the time.
Right.
And for a month, you know, a month went by and he called me on the phone. I'm like, He's like, yeah, Lord Jamar. I'm like, I hung up on him.
Oh, wow.
He's like, yo, he called me back again. I hung up on him like 3 times. Like, he's like, yo, if you hang up on me again, I ain't calling you back. Yo, this is really me. So I was like, really? I was like, hold on. I called Tame on the 3-way. He ain't answer. I'm like, all right. So we got. He was laughing because he's like,
so what year?
This is like 90, 91.
See, listen, things like that happened back then because the music was so progressive back then.
Right.
It was moving so quickly, and artists were coming out like every week, different artists. You know what I mean? And you guys rode that wave, man. Your success is immense, man.
Right.
This was before Atlantic.
Yeah, this is way before Atlantic. But Jamar was grooming us, and it just got to the. We went to the stretch show, and that from there went there, and we kept going there.
Right.
And we would just be up there hanging with him, and from there, Rob Tulo, my man Daddy Reef, he just was friends with them, but him and Reef. Stretch worked at Atlantic,
right?
So that's how.
Right.
That's how.
Was at Atlantic, yeah.
Exactly. That's how we got the deal from the radio show. So after we went home defeated about the name. We go back.
Right.
We like, yeah, Artifacts, yo. What's up, Artifacts? And they was like, okay, that sounds good. But now y'all gotta go in the office and stay here for mad hours and go through the system and see if it's any other rap group called Artifacts. Yo, we was in there for like 3 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
3 in the morning searching with the people there.
That's before Google.
Yeah, so you in Google now, you bap, 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 and you see a whole bunch of it. But we in there, but it was, early computer stuff. But, we got the deal. We did all these songs. We, Wrong Side became the single because, they would have all the writers come in the room, all the magazines that's going to review the record.
Yeah, like every Wednesday,
exactly,
like the record labels. Yeah.
So they would all come. And they always, I remember so many people was in the room, people from the label was in the room, and we playing these songs, and we get to Wrong Side, and they just stuck on that. Yo, play that again? Can you play it again? Play it one more time?
They were studying it.
Like 8 times, we like, damn, and then dude that tapped me on the label, like, so we know what the single gonna be, right? I said, I hope so. Like, and then we did the video, and it became a rap from there. The video really, with all the elements in there and the animation, us being seen doing graffiti, people like, okay, these dudes are for real. But like over the years, I would tell people like Tame is the one, you know what I'm saying? Like where the epitome of what it might be when you say a person that ran for it and was being taught the way he was supposed to be taught. He had all the tools for that. And till he died, this dude was a painter.
So let me ask you a question. How I mean, to lose friends or people who are close to you, unless it's happened to you before, you don't really know, how it truly feels. But in this case, I mean, these guys are not necessarily just your friends; they're people that you work with too.
Right.
How has it affected you professionally, personally? I know you're still working, because you actually working and continuously do songs. To your credit as a phenomenal artist.
Thank you.
But speak to me a little about how, like I said earlier, we were all shocked about Tame in particular. But has it affected you overall? I mean, career wise too. I mean, because, when you're in a group, in a group of people, and someone. Like the world knows you as this picture, right? And then maybe one of you guys passes away. Unlike R&B groups, because if somebody dies in an R&B group, right? If somebody dies in an R&B group, they just replace the person,
right?
But in hip hop, it's sort of kind of different. Like you can't really replace a Jam Master Jay. You can't replace a Phife Dawg. You know what I mean? You can't replace Eazy-E. You can't replace certain people. Why even bother, right? So. To me, you can't really replace a DJ Chaos or a Tame One, right? So how has that truly affected you overall as an artist and personally?
It's still hard,
right?
Because when you think about first Chaos passing, but when you see, you see it coming. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like with Chaos, it wasn't a sudden thing. Like I kind of knew,
right?
But it just, it's hard to tell somebody to like, yo, come on. But he might not, I don't know, might not have the strength to be like, all right, I'm gonna come on.
Right.
And it became that. So like having Chaos go, Tame's still here. So it was like, okay, we could, go to each other, to talk or, but we never was replacing him. It was the same thing like Run DMC.
Right.
We're going to have guest DJs, but we're not going to have a replacement DJ,
right.
a permanent DJ.
Right.
So with me and Tame, it was like, okay, like I said, we got a lot of guest friends that we know that can DJ, but they may not be good as Chaos. And with that, even when I was doing Mr. Lynn from Company Flow. Mr. Lynn is my man. Right. So I would say the tour we just did in Europe, he toured with me and Tame in 2019. So that was the closest replacement. But it's not like a replacement because it's almost like, because Chaos and Lynn was best friends. They was like, they ran together. Wow. So I told Lynn, it makes sense for you to go with us on tour because you knew Chaos. And I've known Lynn since I was 15, 16 years old. Oh, wow. So a lot of people don't know that. Wow. He worked with people that I was working with and I didn't know him. More or less say like R&B, Bryce from Groove Theory. Right. I met him back in those times when we were both young. And to see him go to be what he was, me and Lynn became who we were. And me and Lynn worked with certain people that even Chaos knew. But this was a world we wasn't supposed to really be in. Right, so we wound up all going our ways to be what we were supposed to be. And, with Lynn, him, on stage with me, even when we was on that tour, I was like, damn, it's like your Chaos a little bit. Cause they similar in DJ style and they DJ together. So it was like, once we got the show tight with him, it felt like now I don't have to turn around, because when I'm doing shows by myself and I got all the DJs, I could give them the set list, but it's not gonna be right. So I tell them like beforehand, bro, look, don't be all scratchy and not paying attention. And trying to do too much, when the hook comes, you got to stop scratching. I've had dudes that be like straight, because they doing it with me, so they like, and they my elements, scratching. I'm like, yo, like pay attention. Stay here with me. So I'm telling them like, yo, when I go like this, that means stop. Stop. And I'm gonna tell you these songs, one verse, two verse, one verse. So he's like, okay, I got to explain all that. When I was with Chaos, we was with him, there's no turning around, and only time I'm turning around, if he slip up, I'm like, hey, like something happened. Right. So like now, it's like, but Lynn, and I just did a tour with him by myself in Europe, and we just was in, we was in Prague, we was in Germany, we was in Amsterdam, Denmark, pretty much everywhere. And for me, and with now the Tame situation, when we split up, we were separate for a while, 10 years. With that split, we both became solo artists. So I was able to make records by myself. Shout out to Wes Jackson, Seven Heads Records at the time.
And that's one of the things I wanted to ask you before you jump over that. What is the name of the video that Tame wore a mask in?
Now that's one off the new album. That song is called The Way We Feel.
And why?
And because, for one, Tame didn't know the words to the song. And it was pre-pandemic, so when the video came out, I was like, wow, how did you even, he already knew it was gonna be mask time, because he would have, and then I was like, yo, you do know you gotta probably take the mask off at some point in the video, like, people probably won't think that's you under the mask. So he waited to the end. That's why at the end of the video, he took it off. It was a couple of people that asked me, yo, is that really him? And like, who did y'all get to impersonate him? I'm like, yo, that's him, B. Like, we shot the video in like 2018, and so, it made sense to me, because I'm like, wow, how did he even know that we were gonna be wearing but he got a whole damn mask on. Wow. And I was like, bro, like, you gotta take it off. He had the whole video, like, he's like, yo, but I like it though. I was like, but you don't know the words. I know that, but just like take it off at the end though. So that was funny.
That's crazy. You guys, unlike a lot of other rap groups, they come out here on major labels. They do the tour, the work here in the States. Right. Then they take it overseas. You guys catapult yourself from here to overseas.
Right. There's no gold or platinum, no nothing.
Right. And you did, and then not only did you do shows overseas, your shows were on the underground circuit overseas.
Yes.
Do you think that all that work that you put in overseas is what gave you a lot of success? And built your foundation as a group and even as individuals.
Yes, very much so, because we went to Europe in like early 95,
right? But
not before a lot of other people. We went to Japan in 94. So going there, like probably Wu-Tang, Beatnuts, I think Das Effects, and Public Enemy, and maybe De La Soul was the only groups to really go out there like that so early. That was phenomenal. Like I saw a lot of stuff, but they really love hip hop out there. And I've been back in '99. I've been back in 2013 and 2018. And for me to go back, it's like a world of where we really can exist. Like in Europe, we can go there, and I could live in Amsterdam for like 3 months, and I can live there and be able to go everywhere else to do shows and be like a home base, like say Jersey or New York. And these things are only happening because these cats follow what we do musically. And I'm gonna tell y'all this: we are the mainstream artists when we go to Europe. There's a lot of mainstream artists that go, they do tours, and you hear the big names, but you won't. It's like they're maybe first time going, and where we've been going for 10 times in Amsterdam, 12 times in Denmark. And that's why you hear stories about certain artists going to Europe and they can't. They get all oh my God, I'm holy, and people in the town like, yo, chill out, bro.
Right.
Put your camera down. I know you're a tourist and everything, and when we go, I'm walking in these places like it's nothing, but they know who we are, and we just Europe is like when you can go multiple times, it's like you're a regular now,
right?
And you're going there because you're ace. This man goes there more than anybody, all the time. I'm telling you, he's doing out, but it's only when he do albums. He do a new album. Him and Marco Polo are out.
Yeah, you're talking about Master Ace, right?
Yeah, Master Ace. Yeah. Ace could be out there 3 or 4 times out of the year, and they are 2-week runs, and he's going everywhere. And that's why it's good for his wife. Like, yo, you going how long? All right, cool. I come back, I got this. But it's not. It's just that we have to work a little extra. That's the one thing I will say. The drawback for a lot of that is, we can do certain things, but then when the big name artists come out there, they do one show and they making half of what we make in the tour. So, and that's only because these promoters. These promoters are regular guys. They work regular jobs. They are DJs and producers and artists. They that they know that's done, that they've been known for mad years. He opening for us, and they putting their money together just, and they bringing us. And then they have sponsors. It's just like home. And when y'all go, just because they don't speak English don't mean they don't know what the hell is going on. They got their slang and everything like we do, but don't mess it up. Right. Because when y'all go over there, do 20-minute set. Y'all like, yo, where the girls at, where the weed at, where the drinks at, and these dudes is clowning y'all, and you will never go back again. You will never go back.
Well, it says a lot. It says a lot to your skill set. It says a lot to the fact that you guys. That too. It says a lot to the fact that you're not commercialized. Because overseas, they gravitate toward. I don't like to equate it to certain things, but they kind of equate this whole energy to what they feel is real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like what they feel is that's not really hip hop.
Right.
This is hip. I mean, cause their whole culture, an ideal of what hip hop is over there is everything that has anything to do with the 5 elements.
Right.
Nothing commercialized.
No.
This is they still do graffiti on a high level.
Yes.
They still write in bars. They don't do commercialized songs. They still do hip hop fashion like they're in the 90s.
Right. Japan is like that, B. Like, you go there, they got every sneaker, but then they looking at me, Polo is relevant out there so much. Right. I went out there, every show I did. I just saw a gang of Polo dudes everywhere. 20 dudes at the club when I'm show up in front of the door, decked out. They looking at me like, oh, we take pictures. Come on, But it's because they learned from our era.
Right.
Our era, those 90s years.
Right.
For them is the epitome of how we say fresh.
Right.
How when you look at how they dress, these dudes wearing baggy clothes, they got all new sneakers. I'm looking at their sneakers. They looking at what I got on. I'm like, what they got on everything on fire. Like, man, and they asked me, they're like, yo, what's wrong with New York? I'm like, what you mean what's wrong with New York? He's like, yo, what's wrong? And I'm like, what you mean? He's like, just like, y'all sound like down south.
Oh, wow.
It's not New York. It's not New York no more. Like how we used to know.
I was gonna say so. This. All right. So now I'm gonna start to bug out. So listen. so that real talk. So you have to ask yourself a question now. Okay. So it's the Artifacts. It's Brand Nubian. It's Master Ace. It's it's the golden era.
Right.
Right. Who continuously goes overseas to different countries.
All
right.
the time.
And now, keep in mind they're also gravitating to your new songs. They're gravitating to what you've done historically, right? But big artists tour over there as well.
Is a place for it.
But hold on, let me finish. So the big artists go over there. They do what they do over there. But that's just there for entertainment. That's not that's not what they. It's not changing their culture if a Jay-Z or a Nas or someone else performs there.
Right.
It's not doing new songs. So what's that say about the golden era? What's that say about the songs that you've already done?
Right.
Right. And because they're still living hip hop from the 1990s.
Right.
And all this new technology, it's not like they can't see. I mean, it's not like, Yo MTV Raps actually brought hip hop to the entire world. I mean, we opened hip hop Japan. We opened hip hop Russia. We did all that. So now it's not like you can't see what's going on now. You can't see the Scarlet. You can't see all the new artists coming out. Right. So what does that say about new music? As far as you're concerned, does that speak about how new music is not sticking to the wall over there? It's not changing or making their culture change or grow? Because if they're still if they're still dressing like Das Effects and listening to Brand Nubian and listening to the Artifacts, I'm talking about on a high level. There's something to be said about that. So. Tell me how you feel about that. I mean,
it's people love new music, and they want to see their artists progress. They want to see how, because we would never know how Tupac would sound today if he was
here. Can you imagine what him Biggie
exactly?
Yeah. Right.
And in this world of this technology, over the years, we've seen Jay-Z do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's from our era.
Right.
What I will say is that our era has gotten older to a point where it's nostalgic to the young cats because they hit the ceiling. They hit the ceiling with everything. It's even with the music because vinyl sales going back up. Digital, you got producers now wanting to go to the old equipment.
Right.
They looking at it to say like, I need to recapture that time because that to me is more. I need to be in that pocket because that's the more important one for me because most of their favorite producers come from that era, whether it's Primo, Large Pro, Dilla, and say artist-wise, Das, leaders to Busta being solo.
Facts.
It's just the fact that these people are way more smarter than it used to be where they're more caught up. And they're more keen to get their music from these different sites, and different Hip Hop DX, whether or hip hop, so it's all there for them. So it's no more secrecy where it's like, how is this stuff being made? How can they get their hands on it? Because now the internet exists. Where before it was a dude in the town in Europe that was only going to New York. He was the only one knowing everything, bringing the records back, bringing the clothes back, and now they can order the stuff online. So it's like, okay, y'all can, and they're expecting us to show what we learned, and it's not enough artists from our era making new music today.
Right. Well, I agree with that.
That's one thing that I can account for.
Important parts because you know,
new times, man. Dudes don't want to do the streaming,
right? And there's no, and they're not up to on that. And more importantly, there's not enough vehicles to actually play their new music. You know,
and it actually is.
Well, part of the reason why I started this podcast, L, is because I want to give flowers to our forgotten hip hop heroes.
Right.
You know,
that's what we
people
need.
like yourself. You know, people like Ace. You know, I'm not saying you guys are forgotten about. But,
No,
you know, it's not.
I get it.
You're not as
recognition you deserve.
mainstream and giving the flowers consistently as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I want to continuously do that here. You know, because I'm from that. You know? So,
yes, you are.
Yeah, no question. So, but yeah, I mean, this is interesting. So your inspiration as it comes to your writing. Obviously, I know you and Chaos and Tame One were always into what hip hop was all about. Right. You know, we're talking graffiti art. We're talking about music. We're talking about fashion. You know, rapping, DJing. So. When you sit down and write songs, tell us a little about what inspires you to write your song, because you're a phenomenal talent.
Thank you.
And you've always had great songs, as far as I'm concerned. So, and as an individual and as a group, but I ask you, from a writer's perspective, you know, what's your inspiration?
It's funny. When I go into a song, I try to think of what not to say that I said before first.
Okay.
The beat really is what's going to make that happen. The beat is going to take you there. A lot of people don't like writing to the beat. A lot of people write without the beat and then get on the beat. For me, if I have to write with the beat, is if the producer is arranging the beat to do different things in the track, I encourage them to do that, because it's going to make me do things in my writing where if it's a drum roll here or something like that, I might change the flow depending on what the beat is doing. Right. But it makes for a better song because you're in with the track, and it's not like you wrote the verse and you're trying to fit the track,
of course,
with the verse.
Right.
Whereas when if you rocking on a beat that you really feel, it's gonna bring stuff out of you, you know. And our favorite songs are the ones that were like that.
Right.
So when I'm listening to artists, Pharoah Monch still do it for me. Buster still do it for me, producer-wise. When I'm in the gym, a lot of the beats I play are from Pete Rock.
Well, did that collaboration happen yet?
No, I want. One collaboration did happen. Me and Pharoah Monch. Pharoah Monch is on a joint with me called Frontline.
Okay, you know what collab I'm talking about with Pete Rock.
Oh, see, now I want to do one.
Okay.
Me and Pete saw each other at the Blue Note, and he asked me, like, "Yo, L, why we do a song together?" I'm like, "What?" Like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I'm waiting for you.
Yo,
but
Pete holler at him, son. Pete holler at him.
But Pete no, because I saw you at your album release party, and I told you years ago, before I died, I was drunk too.
That's Jersey right there.
We gonna do a song together, bro. We gonna do one.
Right.
That's how you know somebody from Jersey mean it.
You know, but lyrically, KRS.
Right.
And these are dudes that still putting out records now.
Yeah, they do.
And like Ace, you know, do it for me. Sky Zoo. Redman, of course. Red is like, you know, homebound bread. Like that's that's like in my blood. So I always think of him when I write my songs, because I always wonder what he would say about the verse, because he's top tier with it. So it means something when he say he like it.
Sidebar, curious, how did you feel riding through the city and seeing MTV awards in Newark?
Oh, that was crazy. It was like, you know, all this stuff happening now is kind of like surreal, because
you fought
you
for
never
that.
You never thought that would come to Jersey. You would never thought the Prudential Center would be, or the damn Devils winning all these awards, these championships, to where they have their own stadium right downtown Newark. So that is a plus for the city. Raz Baraka, you know, the mayor, you know, he's making things happen a lot.
Well, I tell you one thing: the next time they have a Jersey performance,
homage,
we gonna need you up there.
I need to be on the bill.
Nothing.
I need to be on the bill. You know, just you know, even to, you know, like you said, this is just me now. You know, I have to carry on the tradition of the name, and you know, even and this is, you know, to answer what you said. The question, me and Tame being solo, not saying you could be prepared for death, but in business, me and Tame had our solo career. So even though we was together, I would still go and be by myself and do shows. I could do shows with me and Sadat X. We had albums together just as much as I can go on the road with Tame. I just got myself in a lane where I was able to move. So even now, today, not having him in Europe with me, not having Chaos there, having Lynn there, these people know what's going on, but they know that I've been doing this for a long time with and without Tame. So I've been kind of prepared for this, even though not prepared for the death part, but I was always prepared to always perform.
Are you still nice with the blade?
Yes.
A little switch. A lot of people don't know.
Hold on, Blade, put me on.
Let me know. Let me know.
That's technically how he got his name.
Yeah, see, look, she pay attention.
Come on now.
All right, so I'm a barber.
School him.
I cut hair. I cut my own hair, and I used to go down to the barbershop down the street from my house in the early 90s and see them dudes in there crowded up in the barbershop.
Right.
And I'm standing out there, already got my hair cut, and they're like, damn, who cut your hair? Me. Oh, word? I'm like, you want to go up the street? Go to my room? So I would bring at least 3 or 4 people from down there, bring them in my room and cut their hair. And I would have the anime playing or a kung fu movie playing. And my man was like, yo, where you cutting our hair? You got the sharp hairline, you know. And then and it was a certain movie we was watching,
Right.
And this I don't know if anybody knows about the movie Ninja Scroll. Ninja Scroll is one of the best anime movies. You go any top 10, Ninja Scroll will be in the top 5, if not number 1.
And y'all was watching it before it became in English.
Yes, when it was called When Ninja Chronicles.
Oh, wow.
And there was no English, no subtitles, and we watched that movie like 5 times trying to figure out what it was about. We was halfway right on some of the parts, but I finally got the English version. It was like, it totally blew my mind. Artwork was still crazy, and the artwork still holds up today for it to be done in 94. So this tattoo, I know y'all can't see too good, but this is the character in the movie Jubei Kimogabe.
Jubei Kimogabe.
Yes, so
Is he nice with the blade?
He's super nice with the blade, and that's how I got my name.
Oh, I guess
my man said, "Yo, your cutting is like the Sensei blade," and it kind of stuck.
Oh,
so my name was MCL.
Right.
And when he added that, it became
Sensei,
MCL.
That's really dope. That's dope right there.
See, she got me. She on point.
So you were talking earlier about you coming out with an album, right? So talk to us a little about the album. Tell everybody where they can possibly pick it up. You know.
Okay, there's a few records gonna come, but immediately y'all can look for 3 new Artifact videos to come out. We're gonna make some magic happen and be very effective and be very creative, like you said.
Right.
I'm gonna hire some people to help me out. Ultra Mag on Instagram may not know this, but when y'all see this, I'm gonna hit y'all up. What? 'Cause I'm gonna need y'all help. So my man Neff is gonna shoot 2 videos. Shout out to DJ Eclipse who did the scratches on the song that we're gonna shoot the video for. There's a remix that's gonna come. I can't say nothing about that yet, but by the time this comes out, y'all might know a little bit more. But we're gonna have a remix video for the song that you were talking about, The Way We Feel. And that's gonna be soon. And the latest album that will come out is gonna be called Man Machine. I worked with a producer named Tony Galvin from Miami by way of Atlanta. And he passed away 3 years ago. And the album is done, video's done, and that is gonna be the next record I will release. AVX Records, my man Vinny Kumar, it'll be released on Empire Records. And there's a lot of guests on this record. I guess I can say the guests that's gonna be on there. Yeah. Money Love is gonna be on one of the songs.
Oh, that's peace.
MC Cyrock, she's from Atlanta, super duper MC. She's crazy on the mic. I got my man Shabam Sadiq on the song. You know, my man Dave Ghetto from Miami. But these beats, you know, that my man gave me, Tony was a producer of something like Tony Dofat. You could take him straight out of the 90s. He rocked with all those guys, but these songs are very, very professional, very big, and I feel as though these songs are gonna take me over probably somewhere I've never been before.
That's facts.
So,
and we can't wait till it come out.
Nah, thank y'all very much.
Where can your fans, new fans, old fans, follow you on all social media platforms?
All right, IG. Y'all follow that old one, Sensei from NJ. Don't follow that no more.
Oh, so
that got super hacked. So my new page is EL_DA_SENSEI. So it's still Elder Sensei, but you got the little hyphens underneath on the bottom.
Okay, that's what's up, then. We're going to follow you right there. You know
yes,
what I mean?
indeed. And Facebook, I'm on there. They got the government. So it's Elliot, Elder Sensei Williams. Blow you all up, but you can follow. It don't even matter because from Instagram, go to Facebook, so you're going to see the same thing on both.
That's facts.
So, but y'all can follow me there.
This was amazing, bro. Thank you for coming,
Thank you for having me, bro.
No doubt,
this doesn't happen a lot. This man been tracking me down for a minute. I'm glad to have finally obliged him of this interview.
Yeah.
Because we all need this, It's not all the time we get to speak to people like him and spread the good word and about ourselves. So I totally appreciate it.
And listen to me right here. See that? I salute you, my dude.
No.
My brother.
Same here,
You know what I
man.
mean? Yo,
Thank you.
Elder Sensei, the artifacts, true hip hop to the grain. Understand, man. You have been watching the T-Money podcast, joint featuring Ciara Ross, Elder Sensei, boy, understand. We out. Peace, 2 fingers.
Thanks, y'all.
T-Money Podcast.